Moving abroad isn't lonely the way people think. You're not sitting alone in a room, like a dark room. You're not crying into your phone. You're not staring out a window missing home. You're surrounded by people. That's the problem. Because the most dangerous loneliness is the one that looks like freedom. When people imagine loneliness abroad, they imagine isolation, an empty apartment, no friends, nobody to talk to. But most days aren't like that. Most days you're outside, you're walking, you're ordering food, you're in crowds, sometimes way too many crowds. You're not alone, you're just not connected. And those two things are very different. Here's what nobody explains before you move. Loneliness abroad doesn't arrive loudly. It doesn't knock. It doesn't announce itself. It doesn't ruin your day. It sneaks up quietly. It shows up as silence, where there used to be friction. No one interrupts you. No one challenges you. No one really needs you. At first, that feels peaceful. Then one day, it feels hollow. At the beginning, you're protected. Novelty covers everything. New streets, new food, new routines. Every interaction feels interesting. You mistake new for meaningful, and you call it growth. You talk to people all day, cashiers, drivers, neighbors. You're socially exhausted, but emotionally, you're untouched because nothing sticks. Here's something I didn't understand at first. Your brain treats novelty like connection. New places feel exciting. New routines feel stimulating. But novelty isn't bonding. Bonding comes from repetition. Seeing the same people. Having shared history. Being remembered. When novelty fades, that's when the quiet shows up. You notice it at night, not dramatically, just when you go to reach for your phone and you realize there's nobody to text, not because you have nobody, because everyone you know is asleep in a different time zone. You start learning time zones. That's when the quiet shows up. Your days are full, your nights are empty. Not sad empty, just quiet. You don't replay conversations. You don't decompress out loud. You don't talk through the small stuff. You just go to sleep. You start watching YouTube like it's a social activity. At some point, the algorithm knows you better than your friends. Here's why everything feels heavier overseas. Back home, loneliness has contrast, familiar faces, familiar language, shared reference points. Abroad, everything already feels slightly distant. So loneliness stacks. Social distance, culture distance, language distance, time distance. Each one of them manageable. Together, exhausting. Even if you speak the language a little, you can order food. You can be polite. You can survive. But humor doesn't travel well. Sarcasm especially. You realize half your personality requires subtitles. So you stop making certain jokes. You simplify stories. You shorten your thoughts. Not because you want to, because it's easier. And easier slowly becomes smaller. You don't feel misunderstood. You feel untranslated. And that's the tiring part. More tiring than being alone. Nobody warns you about this part. Friendships abroad, they take longer. Not because people are cold. Because everyone already has a life. They don't need you. You're optional. Back home, friendships happen by accident. Here, they require attention, scheduling, repeating, showing up when it's inconvenient. When you stop doing that, they fade. This is where people give bad advice. Just make friends. Join groups. Put yourself out there. That's not wrong. It's incomplete. What actually helps is rhythm. Same cafe, same walk, same gym hours, same market. You don't need more people. You need repeat exposure. Familiarity builds safety. Safety builds connection. Here's the part people don't like admitting. Some days you don't miss people. You miss witnesses. Someone who knows your baseline. Someone who can tell when you're off. Someone who remembers your old stories. So you don't have to keep retelling them. That absence is quiet. And it sneaks up on you. So you fill the space, you walk more, you work more, you stay productive. You become very efficient, and you call it thriving. But productivity isn't connection. It just delays a question. Who am I when nobody reflects me back? Not online, not in the comments, but in real life? You start noticing things. Couples argue softly. Friends annoy you with each other. People inconvenience. You start missing inconvenience because inconvenience means closeness. That's when you know something shifted. Moving abroad didn't make me lonely. It removed the noise that used to hide the loneliness. That's different. It exposed it. And exposure isn't bad. It just asks something of you. Most days are still good. Some days are great. And some days you feel everything a little more clearly than you're used to. That's not a warning. It's just something that nobody really talks about.
You don't need to solve this loneliness to move abroad. You just need to understand it. Most people think something is wrong when it shows up, but it's not a failure. It's feedback. It's your brain asking for roots instead of stimulation, for rhythm instead of novelty, for witnesses instead of noise. And once you see it that way, it stops feeling scary. It just becomes part of the adjustment. If you're thinking about moving overseas, or you already have, and some of this feels familiar, the book's links are below. It covers visas, daily life, expectations, and the parts nobody really explains before you pack up your life. There are also a few other links down there that might help. Use them or don't. I just want them to exist. Until next time, sabay di mai.